concept of objects. Earlier class, I have shared the concept of classes. What is a class and as well as how we can declare the class. So recap that class is just a template. From that class, so many objects will be created to access whatever the variables and properties will be there. That should be accessed by the objects and to declare any activity to start a task in object oriented programming, class must be required. So in the Java language everything should be encapsulated under the classes only, and already I have shared the example. If you would like to declare a class student, and whatever the properties and as well as behavior will be existed, declare those properties and behavior. Roll number at name are characteristics of the particular student, and one more method called details. So in the student class which have three properties, three types of variable, three types of characteristics will be existed: roll number, name and marks, and one more behavior called details. Under the details method, roll number, name and marks will be printed. It is a class. How I can access the class? So in the Java, always the execution will be started from the main method. So how I can access the student class without main method? How I can create an object? And now next there is a role will comes, that is object role will be comes into the picture whenever we would like to access the student class from main method. So to access the student class from the main method, definitely we need to create an object. So what is an object? Object is a instance of class. Object is a instance of class. Instance means for a single student class there is a so many instances will be existed. So it is a student class, just it is a template, and it will be comes into the reality. The block of memory will be created for the student, and these student class will be reflected to which student, which instance will be which instance will belongs to the student class, then it will be comes under an object. Suppose I am storing a roll number one details, roll number one, his name or her name, marks, and printing on the details of roll number one, then roll number one is an instance of student class. And if I would like to store the student two details, so S2 with particular roll number, name and marks, so another instance called S2 instance which belongs to the student class, S3, S4. Similarly, I can create n number of instances. So that meaning is whenever I would like to create, I would like to allocate a block of memory to the class, that should be comes under, that will be comes to the picture at the type of object creation only. Object is a instance of class, that means block of memory will be created. Just class is a template, no memory will be allotted, only a template or blueprint which have some variables, and the values for that class will be initialized at the type of object creation only. And we can call it as another thing, object is a physical entity or runtime entity. When the object is created, the block of memory is allotted to that object. And how we can create an object? So I would like to give some more examples for the object class, that is I can give you some examples. Fine. If my class is a student with certain properties will be there, what is an object? Object equal to student 1, student 2, student 3, up to an object. So these class have roll number, these class have name, these class have marks. And so object is a student one. Object is an instance of class. When I am creating a student one object, these instance have its own roll number and its own name and its own marks. And student 2 instance, student 2 object, which have again a roll number, name and marks. And student 3, again it is a roll number, its own roll number, name and marks. So I can give you some properties. Each object has its own block of memory, and for single class, n number of objects created, n number of objects will be created. Each object have its own state. So one object will be different from the another object. It is an interview question also. They can ask, give some differences between class and object. Class is just a template and no block of memory will be allotted, and it is a single. From that single class, n number of objects will be created, and which takes a reality, it will create a block of memory, and each object have its own values. Each instance got its own state. For a single class, I can create n number of objects will be created for the single class, and I can call it as a instance variable. Roll number is an instance variable. That meaning is object to object, the value of roll number name is common, but object to object, the value of roll number will be different. Object to object, the value of name will be different. Object to object, the value of marks will be different. And now if we are taking one more class faculty with int fid, only one variable, and faculty f1, faculty faculty f2, f3, f4, f5, f6. For a semester, maybe 6 faculty will be there. Even it is a single class, how many instances I have created here? 6 instances of faculty, and each instance, faculty 1 ID is different, faculty 2 ID is different, and faculty 3 up to faculty 6 instances will be different. And now I will create one more fruit class. Certain properties will be there. And what is the instance? So fruit belongs to, what are the objects for the fruit class? Which fruit it is? Apple is one instance, mango is another instance, and banana is another instances. Fruit which have some properties, those properties will be fruit shape, fruit color, fruit size. That properties will be shared by different objects: apple, mango and banana. So these are some examples. Now our question is how to create an object. How to create an object. How to create an object. Now we will go back to the PPT. Again, object is an instance of class, that is a block of memory will be created, and each object have its own values. And how we can declare at initialization. So the syntax is, if you would like to create any object, the syntax is class name, object reference equal to new space class name, object reference equal to new space class name with parenthesis and semicolon. Let us take an example. I would like to create an instance for the student class. Student 1 details I want to store. The step 1 is student 1 object you can create. What is the structure of student 1 object? Student class. The first syntax is, if you have observed this, we can see that class name. Yes, what is the class name here? Student followed by space object reference. What is the object reference here? S1. And a block of memory will be created using new keyword, and again class name with the closed parenthesis, open and closed parenthesis. So it is a for student S1, a block of memory will be allotted, and those block of memory, how it will be allotted, we can observe here. I can go to, yes, for student S1, a block of memory will be allotted. What is the S1 here? How many variables are there in the S1? If you have seen that roll number, name and marks. Yes, for roll number, what is the next one? The next one is name. What is the third one? Marks. Which is pointed by, what is the object here? The object will be S1. And again, we have created one more object. What is that? The class name student S2 equal to new space student. Okay, I can give you, I will open the pen and show you. And now what is the block of memory will be created? Yes. And now what are the things will be here? Roll number. What is the next one? Name. What is the third one? Marks. Which is pointed by, it will be pointed by what is the object here? The object will be S2. And I can create the same. That is very quickly I can draw this. A roll number, name, and the next one is marks. Which is pointed by? It will be pointed by, it should be pointed by, what is the object here? S1 object. Because it's in our example, we have created two objects, student S1 equal to new student and student S2 equal to new student. For the same classes, two instances, two objects are created, and each object have its own block of memory. S1 is having different block of memory and S2 have different block of memory. With what are the variables here? Roll number, name and marks. And here also S1 pointing roll number, name and marks. And also here anyway we have created an object block of memory which is pointed. S2 will points the roll number, S2 will points the name, S2 will points the marks. Similarly, S1 points the roll number, S1 points the name, S1 points the marks. Now, what are the values will be assigned defaultly? The values will be for the integer. When the object will be created, one more task, it will be values also will be initialized. That is for integer values, 0 will be initialized. For the name, space, and for the marks, it is a double 0 point. Here also I will take space, string for the space. So what is an object role? Not only it is creating a block of memory, when the object is created, it will also initializes the values. How it will be initializes the values? Based on the type. If it is an integer, 0 will be assigned. If it is string, space will be assigned. And if it is double, 0.0 will be assigned. So in this way, the block of memory is created, objects creation. And now again we can go back. Object declaration and initialization of object in single step. What is that meaning? The declaration of object S1 with student, and also whatever the value we are initializing the memory. New is a keyword which is used for, the new keyword is used for allotting the block of memory. It is also an interview question. How the block of memory will be allotted? The block of memory will be allotted based on a value called, what is that value? New value. The block of memory will be allotted based on the new value. New is a keyword, and also here the block of memory will be created. And what I am saying, the declaration and as well as initialization will be done in the single step. There are one more thing called declaring and initialization of object in two steps. How it is? Very simple. First we can declare the variable. Then we can once the declaration is completed, then we can assign the value. So if you have observed that student S1 will be there. Yes, student S1 will be there. Have you observed this? It is a declaration. How we can declare an int variable? Int A. Similarly, student S1 is an object reference which belongs to a data type called student. And how we can assign the value? S1 equal to new student. Like A equal to 10 I can assign. A equal to 10 I can assign. So declaration is one step and initialization is one more step. Same, first we can declare the student S1 and next we can assign the S1 equal to new student. And similarly for S2 object, first to declare it student S2 and S2 equal to new student. So we can also create an object in the two steps. First I can complete that, and after that we can go to the example. Very quickly, I can complete this. Create student class with the number, name, and marks. Create two objects for student class. So first I would like to take a class student with what are the things in roll number, string, name, and next double marks, and add the method. The method signature is no return type. Method name is details, and how we can print system dot out dot println. Very simple, just simply print the roll number. If you want to print the text message also, a roll number within the double quotes, roll number plus concatenation symbol is plus. And next version is next what I would like to print name. Name. And the third one is marks. Here also print the mark. And now the method also completed. Yes. And where I can create the object, and it is better to create a main method in the other class instead of creating in the student class itself. It is also possible. Better to create a main in the some other class. So class demo object add main method. We know the signature of main public static void main of string args. Okay, and now create s1 object. What is an s1 object? How we can create student? First class name student s1 equal to new space student. And now after that, how I can create the s2 object? Class name student s2 small or capital, no problem. Student. Let's close the main and close the class. So always if more than one class will be existed, always it is better to save the program name as the main method is available in which class. Based on that we can save the class name. Better to save the program as demo. Even other one no problem. But to avoid the confusion, so better to add the class with the demo object.java. Now we can compile, go to the command prompt, d java c demo, some closing statements will be missed. What is that? Class this is the class one void details. Close this public static void main student s1. What is the error for this? Some closings will be missing here. String args. Yes, sorry, I kept the class name in the comments. Sorry for that. Yes, errors. Class is a keyword. It should be with the small letter only. Yes, compilation is success. So what are the errors I did? Class first initially I kept the class in the comments. That is the wrong one. And instead of small letter I have given the capital. And now again you can see student class, roll number, name, marks, and one method with the name called details and no parameters and no return type. Printed 3 roll number, name, and marks, and created a main class. Create main class means a method. This class have the main method. Demo object main, public static void main of string args, create s1 object. Yes, from the signature student s1 equal to new student. If you want to declare it in the two steps, so we can First we can declare initialization declaration only. Declare S2 reference for student class, and what we can assign initialize. How we can don't create again h2 equal to new student, so both will be common. And execute java space demo. Nothing will be printed. Why? Because if you have observed the program, always the execution will be started from the main method, and we have created an object, fine. Here also we have created an object in the 2 steps, fine. But no, nothing will be called. We didn't call by using the object. We didn't initialize the values of roll number, and we didn't call the details. How we can call the details method? Now coming to the signature. Once the object is created, how we can do that? Access the properties of student in class using S1 object. Okay, so already if you are not yet assigned, if you want to use the variables, the signature is object name dot variable name equal to value. It is for assigning values to the instance variable. Object name dot variable name equal to value. What is the value object name here? S1 dot. What is the roll name variable name? Roll number equal to 1. What is the next one? S1 dot name equal to Rahul. Currently we can't assign. We can see the signature only. If you would like to assign the values to the instance variable, use the object name dot variable name equal to assign the value. And how I can call the method instance method? Object name dot method name with open parentheses and closed parentheses. If any parameters are there, then you can provide the values. Otherwise, simply we can call object name. What is an object name? S1 dot details, open brace and closed brace. So using the object name only from the main method, I can access the particular instance variables of student class and methods of instance methods of student class. How I can access object name dot variable name equal to object name dot variable name equal to value and object name dot method name. So I can go to the program again. First I don't want to assign the values, just I would like to call details method using S1 object. How I can call object name dot S1. What is the method name? Details. We can compile the program. What is that? Roll number 0. Name is null. For the string, it is null, not space. For the string, it is null. And marks are 0.0. Already I told when the object is created, the values will be assigned to the particular variables are, if it is an integer 0, if it is double 0.0, and if it is string, space are in some systems null. And here also for the h2 also we can get the null only. So I would like to print call details method using object. So what is the object name? h2 dot details. Even one step you have modified, just compile it. two types. It is actually default values. If you are not assigning any values, no garbage collection. Instead of no garbage values, instead of that, the object will be assign a default values to your variables. Now I have another one. Now I would like to assign roll number 1 and Rahul to the S1 object. So before calling, I am writing assign values to instance variable using S1. Before calling only you can assign object name dot, what is the variable's name? Roll number S1 dot roll number equal to 1. What is that next one? S1 dot name equal to Rahul. S1 dot marks equal to 90.3. First assign. If you are assigning the values after printing, then it will be 0 only. So first you can assign, then print it. For which object I have assigned? Is it for S2? No. The values roll number, name, marks will be assigned to the S1 object. Now for S1, what is this? S1, I can erase this. I can erase. It is an S2, okay. For S1 object, I can erase. Using S1 object, S1 dot roll number I have assigned, that is 1. And here 1 will be there. What is that next one? S1 dot name. S1 dot name Rahul. And what is the marks? S1 dot marks equal to 90.3. Because I can override the default values. 0 null I have override, and I am calling using object name dot variable name equal to value what I have told. Object name dot variable name. All these you can done from the main method, not from the same student class. Always execution will be started from the main method. If you want to access other classes, you can create an object in the main method. So we have created, and I can remove all these here. Completely I have focused on the student one object only. And here I can write it. So created is an object. Student 1, block of memory will be allotted. Block of memory will be allotted for S1 object. And after that, what we have done, we have pop up S1 dot roll number equal to 1, S1 dot name equal to Rahul, and S1 dot marks equal to 90.3, S1 dot details. Okay, so values will be allotted to only S1. What about S2? S2 object is created in two-way steps, but only details printed. Then what are the default values? 0, null, and 0.0. I think the S1 details will be varied. Roll number 1, name Rahul, and marks 9.3. Very important, each object have its own values. One object can't be reflected, those values can't be reflected in another object. Each object have its own values. We have allotted the values using S1 object only. So only S1 object, by calling S1 details, only these details will be reflected in the S1, that will be printed. What about S2? No value. If you want to change it, if you want to assign the values for the S2, then yes, instead of S1 object name, we can change and roll number 10, and instead of Rahul, Rohit, and the marks will be. Now in the place of H2 also the values will be varied. What is the H2 value? Rohit. Next marks will be, roll number will be 10 and name will be Rohit and marks will be, what is the marks? 87.3. H2 also reflected. We can see this. Rule number 10, Rohit marks. So in this way we can create. If you want some more clarity, which is S1, so before printing you may give some message also. That is step dot. Just I am printing a message. Student 1 details. Same way, before calling the H2 dot details, you can print some message. What is that, students? And you want any spaces, just you can give colon, and you may add some space. All should be in the double quotes. What is the place? Concatenation system. I can come. Just some clarity. Concept is same. Just elaboration will be there. Student 1 details. What are the student 1 details? Roll number 1, name Rahul and marks 90.3, allotted assigned using S1 object and printed S1 dot details. And student 2 allotted H2 dot roll number equal to 10, H2 dot name equal to Rohit and H2 dot marks equal to 870.3. And each object have its own values. In this way we can create n number of objects in the class. So we have our task is find the differences between class and object, work with different objects for single class. I will create a faculty class with name, subject, expert, and store any at least 2 faculty instances information. That meaning is how many objects we can create? We can create a faculty class with the subject name and expert, and 2 faculty instances who are interested, who are having good you are interested to which faculty, which subject, their details you can store. This is your task. And what's an object? You know that how we can create a class with properties, how to add the methods, and where we can access. Always remember that we can create an object in the main class, main method, and for that I have created a separate class and added its main method. I have created an object either in single step or 2 step, then you can assign the values. And how many instances? 2 instances we have created. This is the today class, and you can continue with the task. If you have any doubts, you may put in the comment section or you may ping the message. Thank you one and all.